Welcome to City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Today I have the pleasure of being joined by the general manager from Sweetland Theater, Amphitheater.
Yeah.
I have on as my guest once again, Mr. Brent Gibbs. Brent, welcome to the show.
Hey, Alton, thank you so much. I love being here. I love being your colleague, and I'm excited to talk to our citizens of LaGrange on City Walk.
Absolutely. You know what, Brent? You know, you and I met been a year ago now. Can you believe that?
Oh man, how crazy is that?
How crazy! 1 year ago,
the blink of an eye, yeah,
just gone. And you know, and to make the friendship and to make the connection, I'm gonna just say you've been a pleasure to do, and it's a pleasure to have you here in our community, bringing the artists that you brought to our. But before we get into all that, tell us just a little bit about yourself, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Again.
Well, you know, Alton and I have been colleagues and friends now for a year. My family moved to LaGrange from just outside of Nashville, Tennessee, in December of 2022, and so I was in the music business for a really long time, and most of that work involved me leaving my home and traveling around the world with entertainers and actors and artists, politicians, and all that kind of stuff. And so around 2014, my wife and I started to think of ways that I could continue to have a fulfilling vocation but not be gone. I wasn't the greatest husband and father in that I was gone for over half the year typically.
Oh, wow.
And we didn't want to do that anymore. That wasn't what we wanted for our lives. And so we began to think of different ways that I could make a living and continue to operate in my strengths and my desires. And that took us down a road of entrepreneurship in Nashville. And then, of course, like many other people, 2020 kind of wiped that out. Yeah. And so when we were thinking about what could I do to redeem 20 plus years of working in entertainment, I had one of those moments where I was like, you know, I probably would do well running a venue, in that when I was a tour manager and production manager or tour accountant, my counterpart was typically the manager or the general manager of a venue. And so that would be a lot of my communication and engagement on the artist's side of coming and doing concerts. And so we sort of flipped the script, as they say, a little bit, and I had seen some venue manager jobs, and then I guess for some of the search engines, the city of LaGrange was doing a nationwide search for a new general manager, and I appeared on their algorithm or whatever, and I was delighted to meet it. Back then, you know, it's crazy to hear from this lady named Katie Van Shore and meet Meg Kelsey and Adam Spees all over Zoom for a while, and then they were gracious and invited me to come to LaGrange, and we feel welcomed not only by the city organization and city staff, but by the community. We've had an absolutely great time, and we're thrilled to be here. Grateful and blessed. Good.
You know, and it has been again a whirlwind for year.
Yes.
Let's jump in and talk about 2023. You know, 20, as you say, kind of knocked everybody off of their focal point. But just last year, we just finished up an exceptional lineup. Over at Sweetland Amphitheater. Talk about that.
Well, you know, I should first say about 2023, I got to step into a great situation in no small part due to the work of Katie Van Shore and my colleague who has moved on to a different role, Mary Kate Nix. The simple fact is they put me in a position to be able to step in day one and use the unique things that I brought to the table. And they had built a house that was ready to be occupied, if I could borrow that metaphor, you know? And so I stepped into a house that was ready to be lived in, metaphorically speaking, and I do believe we had a great year, and that was in no small part to the foundation that was laid by the people who worked tirelessly after coming out of 2020. I mean, my goodness, and they set up a great situation for me, and we did have a groundbreaking year in a lot of ways that I hope the community is appreciative of, for their own sake, not because I need any appreciation. We had, I think, a diversity of musical styles. My goal is I take very seriously that I'm a city employee. I'm a civil servant. You know what I mean? I'm here to serve the citizens of LaGrange and Troup County, and all of them have different tastes, and all of them have different means to pursue cultural programming. And so we've tried to do something for everybody in that 2023 year, and we're doing the exact same thing in 2024. But for 2023, we went from bluegrass to hip hop to classical to country and everywhere in between. And I think we did a very good job of trying to give at least one thing that the broadest cross-section of our community could identify with and want to participate in. We, I guess from a metric standpoint, we had more concerts than ever at Sweetland. We sold more tickets than ever. We had 4 sold-out shows out of our 12 programmed national talent shows. And, of course, the one that everybody remembers, and I understand why, was Nelly. And Nelly, the folks who had been at Sweetland had been trying to nail that down for quite a few years, and I'm delighted to say we were able to bring that to Sweetland in 2023, and of course it was the largest attendance capacity we've ever had because we opened up the seated pit into a standing pit, which doubled that capacity of that session. So we had 2,750 tickets sold to that show. Wow. And in addition to it being the most tickets, it was the fastest sellout in the history of Sweetland by a mile, a country mile. I mean, it was, we had our pre-sale for those who are on our email list. We sold through those tickets in about an hour and 15 minutes. Wow. And then when we opened up the remainder of tickets in our general on sale to all comers, that sold out again in about another hour and 15 minutes. Wow. And that was wonderful. And we're super delighted that the interest in that show meant that resonated with our community.
Absolutely.
It did, although, whenever you operate at full capacity, full speed, all that kind of stuff, it does sort of stress test your systems. And we were able to learn in the midst of success, maybe some things that we could do better, some systems that we need to bolster and improve on. And we'll get to that in talking about 2024. But it was a remarkable thing for our community. I'm super delighted to have been a part of that. And I smile every time people talk about that show because, aside from the fact that working with Nelly you get what you pay for. He was a pro. Great. They asked questions about our community and what type of content would be appropriate for the show, which I thought was really remarkable. Because not certain genres have stuff that doesn't work for everybody.
That's
and
right.
he definitely realized he was there to give the audience what they came for. And I think that was, I just always want to say that Nelly is a total legit professional. He's amazing. But when I walked around, it was just smiles. All night, it was just smiles. You know what I mean?
It was an electric night, that's for sure.
Oh, man. And DJ Wally, who got everything going.
Oh, my gosh, yes.
That was just, here, you and I, we were both there. We're just laughing. It was such a great night. It was an amazing night.
Awesome night. And, and I know that, and we're going to get into talking a little bit about the lineup for 2024. Yeah. But, in all that greatness that we talked about, and not to diminish it, we just want to make sure that our citizens are taken care of to the point where they're buying and purchasing tickets. And you guys are unveiling and rolling out a Sweetland Verified.
Yes, Sweetland Verified.
Talk about that for us.
So one of the things that everywhere, even from little old LaGrange, Georgia, all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, the worldwide, one of the biggest challenges to live entertainment buying or any ticketed event is what's called the secondary market. And that's where people who will go in and buy inventory of publicly on sale shows or pre-sale, and they'd hold on to that inventory, and then as tickets sell out, they'd raise their prices higher and higher and higher, basically taking advantage of communities because they're what we do on the side, which is, I'd like to go see fill in the blank. I'd like to go see Regina Bell. So in my spare time, I will try to track when she's coming to my town and when those tickets come on sale. But I've got kids and I've got a job and I've got health issues and I've got all these other things. You have people out there who are professionally 12 hours a day scouring the internet to buy tickets for shows that they think they can turn a profit on with what I think are fraudulent practices and criminal markups, right? It's called the secondary or gray market for ticket buying. And they, not only do they buy up the inventory so that our citizens here in LaGrange don't have access to those tickets, but they then remarket them as if they are Sweetland Amphitheater. So right now you could go on to the internet and you could type in Sweetland concert tickets, and you'll have 4 or 5 websites. There's one that's sweetlandconcerts.com. There's Sweetland events, sweetland.events. I mean, there's intentional websites that are attempting to fool the members of our community who are most vulnerable, right? And so that's often the elderly. It's often people who are not on the internet all the time to engage in e-commerce. And I just became sick with the amount of times that someone would call my office and I would speak to them about the tickets they had purchased that were not actually tickets from us. And it's not that they weren't real tickets, but they were tickets that came with no customer service, and typically they were 2 or 3 times what the actual ticket price we were charging. So we had people for Tamla Man paying, $110 for a lawn seat that was $25, and different things like that. And if I'm just being honest, it was mostly elderly folks. And they, of course, they tried to do something about it or figure out why we were charging them so much money. And I'd say, I'm so sorry. It's not actually us. And, well, what can I do about it? I'm like, I'm so sorry to tell you, they're not going to pick up the phone when you call the number. They're not going to, you know what I mean? And it becomes complicated too, because they're buying a ticket that's actually in someone else's name. Because it had to be issued into somebody's name in the system, right? And they're buying it, it might be Alton buying a ticket, and the name on the ticket is, Kimberly Price. You know what I mean? Like, and so it just becomes really complicated. So that's the long way around the barn to say, Sweetland Verified is our attempt to reach out to the citizens of LaGrange and Troup County and engage them personally, in person, to know who they are by name, to know what their email address is, so that we can create a database of our citizens first. Okay? So Sweetland Verified is basically a database collection for people who are in LaGrange and Troup County, or any real person
that has purchased,
wants to purchase tickets and has a desire to attend a Sweetland concert. And so we're collecting names right now. You can either go to Sweetland on Ice when we are operating. So if you go to, there is a desk at Sweetland on Ice where you can become Sweetland Verified, or you can go to the offices of Visit LaGrange, which is 206 Ridley Avenue, and you can sign up on a clipboard to become Sweetland Verified. Now, here's what it does. For the people who do that, they're going to have an advanced purchase opportunity before anybody, anywhere. I want to sell as many tickets to the people of the city of LaGrange and Troup County until they've had their fill, and then open them up to the wider audience of ticket buyers in the area. So the first thing is they're going to get priority access. The second thing is they're going to get discounts on concessions and merchandise. This is absolutely, remember, this is what everybody needs to remember. When a secondary buyer buys those tickets, we made our money. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect us financially, but it affects the way our customers are treated and the way we serve our community. You know what I mean? So we're trying to incentivize people because we want to know our community in the best possible way, and we want to serve them with priority. And so I want to give them advanced access to tickets. We want to give them incentives to engage Sweetland and the things we do at Sweetland. And so we're just offering discounts on concessions when they come to shows, and the merchandise, the Sweetland merchandise, they might want a Sweetland hat or a sweatshirt or a cup or anything like that. So priority access to tickets, discounts. What that also does, that's what it does for them. What it does for us is it enables us to isolate from our communication people who, like, right now, if you went to sweetlandup.com, we would want you to join our mailing list. Well, that's not a vetted mailing list. Anybody could sign up, including people who are professional ticket buyers. So we want to have a sub list that we continue to focus and deliver great service and great value to our citizens. We are a city-owned facility. You know what I mean? I'm a city employee. My boss is on some existential way is our community, and we want to do our best to serve them in every way.
Wow.
So Sweetland Verified, you cannot sign up for it online. That defeats the purpose.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have to show up,
In
and
person.
we don't sell the list. We don't market to you. Literally, it is a mechanism to get you access to tickets before anybody else. Those tickets aren't discounted. They're what everybody else will pay.
That's right.
But you have first crack at them. Where that really makes a difference is in cases like Nellie. We had a lot of people in our community who just never even had a chance.
Right.
They never even had a chance to buy the tickets. And so as we continue to bring better talent to Sweetland, which is the goal, and more attractive entertainment, we're going to face that problem more, which goes back to what I said.
Yeah.
Nellie taught us some lessons about areas that we need to, in some ways, play defense, but bolster what we do and make sure it's a solid program that's delivering on our core mission, which is to serve the citizens of LaGrange.
Very good. As we close out here, Brent, if you don't mind, tell people how to make sure, once again, get themselves Sweetland Verified.
Absolutely. It must be done in person.
Okay.
You can come between 9 and 4 p.m. to the Visit LaGrange office at 206 Ridley Avenue, and you're able to sign up in person there, or you can go to Sweetland during the hours of operation for Sweetland on Ice, which is Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and someone right there's a desk that says Become Sweetland Verified. You can't miss it, and you'll be on a list, and then those people who are on that list will have the first crack. And this is important. This year, for the first time ever, we're going to announce all 12 shows at one time. And you'll be able to buy up to your limit. The limits for Sweetland Verified are the same as anybody else. You can only buy 6 tickets at a time. And you'll be able to buy all 12 shows
at one time.
You'll get an access code, and you can either use that access code to buy your tickets online, or we're going to have box office hours for a week. A week before we even go on sale to the general public, where people who are Sweetland Verified can come and buy their tickets in person and avoid internet transactions altogether.
Exciting.
And so we think that's going to be exciting. We typically, as you know, have released the concerts in tranches based on when we get the book. But now, everybody's going to be able to set their calendars. They're going to know when the concerts are happening, probably no later than the first week in March. And those tickets will go on sale first to Sweetland Verified folks. And during that period of time, which is probably going to be 2 weeks, they'll have access to all of it. And then we'll open to the general public, and then the rest of the tickets will be sold.
Great. Well, you heard it first from Brent Gibbs. Make sure that we get yourselves Sweetland Verified.
Absolutely.
We didn't talk about the lineup, but that's going to be another show.
Come on.
We're going to have another show.
Listen, I'll show up tomorrow morning.
Absolutely. We will definitely do it. Well, Brent, I did want to thank you for being my guest today. And definitely, I appreciate what you're doing, what you're bringing here for safety net to our citizens, to make sure that they get full advantage and access to the artists that you brought here. We don't want to start naming, but it's a great lineup, and I know that you got a great lineup for it, and we're going to hear all about it the next time we come together. Okay?
I look forward to that.
All right, Brent, thank you very much.
You bet, Alton.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for more City Week coming up in just a moment. Welcome back, City Week, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's that time that I share the stage with my good friend, Lynne Holle. Well, Lynne, let me just start by saying Happy New Year to you, and I know that you have a wonderful lineup, so let's hear all about it.
Happy New Year also to you, Alton. I hope this year brings lots of joy and laughter into your life. I'm Lynne Holle with Visit LaGrange. Today we're going to be talking about all the events that will be happening in and around our area during the week of January 8th through January 14th. So let's get started. Friday, January 12th at Sweetland on Ice, movie night. Have you been to Sweetland on Ice yet this season? Even if skating is not your thing, Sweetland on Ice is a fun place to hang out with everyone. On Friday, January 12th, come out and enjoy movies at Sweetland with this week's movie, Minions: The Rise of Gru. Come see us this weekend. As always, remember to keep an eye out for weather updates and holiday hours on our Facebook and Instagram pages. Saturday, January 13th from 8 a.m. until 10 a.m., Leaving LaGrange Better Than We Found It litter cleanup at Jones Street Park. The City of LaGrange will be hosting its Leaving LaGrange Better Than We Found It litter cleanup Saturday, January 13th from 8 until 10 in the Bellline community. We will meet at Jones Street Park, which is located at 113 Jones Street in LaGrange. Our community partner is the Bellline community. The public is welcome to participate. All supplies will be provided. Also on Saturday, January 13th, beginning at 1 p.m., the MLK Parade in downtown LaGrange. Come out and celebrate the life of Martin Luther King Jr. with the 35th Annual MLK Jr. Parade in downtown LaGrange. This year's theme is Living the Dream, It Starts With Me. There will be several entries, including floats, classic cars, bands, and more. Let's all join together in this celebration in remembrance of Martin Luther King Jr. So Alton, these are some of the events that will be occurring during the week of January 8th through January 14th. We hope everybody will get out and enjoy some fun and stay safe as always.
All right. Well, Lynn, thank you once again for that lineup. And I know the people, as always, will come out and make sure to take full advantage of all the things happening. So thank you very much. And again, Happy New Year. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining City Week this week. My guests have been from the Sweetland Amphitheater. I had on General Manager Brent Gibbs as he talked about a recap of 2023 lineup, and also, ladies and gentlemen, talked about the Sweetland Verify. So by all means, if you want to make sure that you're buying from the authentic Sweetland website, going out to sign up as he gave you the instructions to do so. You can go over to Visit LaGrange from 9 to 4 to sign up, or you can go over to the box office during the times that they're open and make sure that you get signed up for Sweetland Verify. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you've enjoyed this interview, and again, I want to welcome and wish everyone a very happy new year, and make sure that you come back and join us for more of City Week.